gorgeous, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. And if you happen to stumble on this video and you're not part of the family, make sure you guys click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every single time I upload. But today is gonna be another hair video. I love doing hair videos, and I thought, what better video to do than a whole video around hair mistakes that a lot of us tend to make, sometimes even on the daily. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2, or maybe if you want to see kind of a similar video but with a different category. Thumbs up, it always helps me out, and comment down below what your biggest hair mistake is. I'm curious to know if it's any of the ones I list or if it's a completely different one. Also, don't forget to follow my Instagram at NICOLETTAXO. And on that note, let's just jump right into the video. Mistake number 1 is definitely overwashing. I feel like a lot of us now know that you should definitely not be washing your hair every single day. And I know so many people in my life and my friends or family that totally did this, and that is just horrible. You want to make sure that you're not overwashing, because overwashing leads to stripping the natural oils out of your hair. So I recommend trying to hold off on washing as much as possible. I typically wash my hair every few days or every 4 days if I can really push it that way. If you're trying to cut down on the washing, a couple tips for you is just to use dry shampoo to freshen up in between washes. I always love to use this if I find my hair is looking greasy. It makes it go away instantly. And if you don't have a dry shampoo, you can always sprinkle a little bit of baby powder onto your scalp, massage it in, and that is an easy DIY dry shampoo. But if you really feel like you need to wash your hair and it's just been too soon since the last time you washed, a tip I have for you is just to wash your hair with no shampoo and just to rinse your hair with water, and that's it. And that's just really gonna help freshen up your hair, and you're good to go until your next wash. But you really want to try and cut it down as much as possible. Comment down below how many times a week you wash your hair. I'm curious to know if you're someone that washes it more frequently or you've gotten used to washing it not as much. Mistake number 2 is one that I'm not gonna lie, I have totally done over the years, and I'm kind of ashamed to say it, but it's applying heat tools on wet hair. Let me know if I'm the only one that does that, but there has totally been times where I'm in such a rush and not all my hair is completely dry, and I'll go over a section of my hair and all you hear is like sizzling, like you are frying your hair, which is really what you're doing, and it is so damaging to your hair. So your hair should always be 100% dry before going in with any heat tool. So pretty much if you go in with a hair straightener or a curling wand when your hair is not fully dry, it dries your hair out even more, and it also scorches at the follicles. So overall, it is just terrible for your hair. Mistake number 3 is towel drying your hair is too rough on the hair. Towels can create a harsh friction against the hair cuticle that will scrub off leave-in conditioners and damage your strands. So a way to avoid this is to actually use an old t-shirt to dry your hair as opposed to your towel. So I will go in with an old cotton t-shirt and just pat down my hair when it's wet. An old t-shirt is made out of microfiber, and it is just ideal for your hair. It's a lot smoother for your hair and a lot more gentle for your hair. That's just a little hair hack to add into your hair routine, and overall you're just going to notice a huge difference in the health of your hair. Mistake number 4 is slathering hair conditioner over your entire head. The ends of the hair should be the focus when putting this super hydrating product on. So if you apply the conditioner all over your scalp, it's going to lead to having a tacky film on your scalp, which in the end will lead to buildup. You don't want to have buildup of hair products onto your scalp, because that's really going to congest your scalp. And that leads me to mistake number 5, which is not clarifying. So like I was just talking about buildup on the scalp, even the most amazing hair products can lead to buildup on your scalp. So it is important to occasionally clarify your hair. The one that I use is from the brand Briogeo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I will link it down below. This is the product I like to use for clarifying my scalp. Thick and curly textured hair don't need to be clarified as often. You can get away with clarifying your hair once a month as opposed to fine, thin hair. You're more likely to notice buildup more frequently, so you can use a clarifying product as much as once a week. So it really just depends on the texture of your hair and the hair type that you have. If you're using oils or hairsprays or leave-in conditioners, whatever it may be, you're going to eventually get buildup, so clarifying it is really going to help clean your hair completely. Mistake number 6 is prolonging a hair trim, and I am the queen of this. I actually just recently got a hair trim because I was long overdue. My hair looked real ratchet, but it is really important to keep up with your trims. It really does make a difference. I used to never want to get a trim because I always tried to grow out my hair, and I thought by getting a trim, my hair isn't gonna grow, it's gonna get shorter. And honestly, when I was keeping up with my trims, that is when my hair started growing the longest, the fastest I've ever had my hair grow. If you don't get trims, it can lead to really bad split ends, of course, especially if you're using heat tools. You could totally consult with your hairstylist to find out when you should typically be getting your trims. I know a lot of people do every 6 weeks, but you could totally ask your hairstylist what they suggest. And it's important to get your trims as well, because although your hair may be long, your hair probably has split ends if you haven't got a haircut in a very long time. And once you get split ends, it will just start breaking off. Your hair's not gonna look as nice than if you got the trim and it was long. So I suggest always trimming it, because also at the end, if you have split ends, you'll notice it being a lot more frail and thin at the bottom, because it just doesn't look as clean cut when you see all these breakages at the bottom of your hair. It just looks a lot more rougher as well, the texture, as opposed to your hair coming from the top. So I always recommend just cutting off those split ends and letting your hair grow out. It looks a lot more cleaner and a lot more healthier. Mistake number 7 is using too much heat. And this is probably another mistake I did for years, near the same time that I was also not getting my haircuts or regular trims. It is important to try and limit as much heat as possible. Not gonna lie, I used to straighten my hair every single day for years when I was in high school because I love the pin straight look, and I was just frying my hair every single day, and my hair could not have looked more atrocious. But we're gonna ignore that part. Heat is one of the #1 hair killers. While it is fine to use heat occasionally, it is best to limit your hair's exposure to heat. I definitely recommend giving your hair a break and wearing your hair in its natural form from time to time. There's so many like no heat hairstyles you can learn as well on YouTube. I've even done some on some of my previous hair hack videos. So there's a lot of ways to go around it, and heat is not necessary. I used to not like my hair unless I applied heat, but I've totally learned how to love my hair naturally. Mistake number 8 is using products with drying agents in them. So drying ingredients or not the best ingredients for your hair. If you find your hair being chronically dry and it just doesn't look the greatest, the culprit could be due to your hair products that you are using and what is inside of those hair products. Something to be mindful of and try looking towards is try switching to alcohol-free and paraben-free products. I used to be someone that found a product, and if it was cheap, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this, it's cheap. That is totally not always the route to go down. You wanna make sure you know what you're buying, not just look at the price tag and think, well, this is cheap, so I'm gonna use it, because sometimes going for too cheap can actually be not the greatest for your hair, and in the end be damaging your hair even more, and then you're going to have to spend more money to fix your damaged hair and get it to come back to having a healthy state. Read on different ingredients you should avoid in hair products, and you're gonna notice a difference in your overall hair health when you go for those better products for your hair. Mistake number 9 is rinsing your hair with steaming hot water. The same damage that you get from hair dryers or flat irons you could get the exact same damage just by washing your hair in steaming hot water in the shower. It is fine to use hotter water when rinsing out your shampoo, but you want to make sure it is not steaming hot water. This will allow your hair cuticles to open up, and it does ensure that your strands are clean from the inside out. But once you are done washing off your shampoo, I definitely recommend rinsing your hair with some cool water right after. This is going to seal the cuticles, and it's also going to give your hair that shine to it that you always see in every hair commercial. This really makes a difference, and this shine will last until your next wash. This is also a really good hack to use if you are trying to grow out your hair as well. And the last mistake that I'm going to share in this video is brushing out your hair while your hair is still wet from the shower. When your hair is wet, it is not only much heavier, but it's also more elastic and it's more delicate. So when you are brushing your wet hair, your hair stretches out and you'll just break it. A tip I have for you is to brush your hair before you jump into the shower. That's really gonna get rid of any knots that you have, and you're not gonna notice as many knots once you finish your shower. So I always make sure to do that. And another tip I have for you is use a brush that is specifically designed for that. So I personally use the wet brush because this is an amazing brush that was designed to detangling gentle hair. So I just noticed such a difference when I use this brush. But this brush is amazing for helping to really get rid of the tangles and not pulling your hair out at the same time. It's a lot more softer on the hair, and I've noticed such a big difference when switching over to this brush. I will link anything that I did mention in the description box for you guys, as well as maybe some of my favorite shampoos and conditioners that I like to use. That is all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. Thumbs up if you want a part 2 or maybe more videos like this. Make sure you comment down below what your biggest hair mistake is. I've probably done all of these things on this list. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to join my YouTube family. I would love for you guys to be a part of it. Click the bell to be notified every single time I upload. And on that note, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!